Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector coming at you on a cool Friday afternoon. Thankfully, the week is behind us, and we have a nice long weekend ahead of us. It's Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully you get a chance to enjoy some time with family, get your cookout on, eat some burgers, eat some steak, grab some ribs and some chicken. And more than anything else, hopefully you get some time to play some amazing video games, and even better, hopefully you get the chance to get out there and find some games that you've been looking for. Now, I wanted to just take a quick moment just to talk about the fallacies that we're hearing all around us with regards to the Xbox 360 and some of what people are saying. And there is definitely a strong sense of FOMO around Xbox 360, the games that you should be getting, so on and so forth. And there's a thing that tends to happen, right? That I think a lot of people miss out on, and months down the road, they find themselves with a bunch of stuff that they really did not want. Now, when it comes to the Xbox 360 store closure, there are only certain games that are going to shoot up in price, and then there are certain games that are going to shoot up in price and stay high in value. And then there are games that are not going to be affected at all, whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now. And that's because of a number of factors. The biggest and most important factor is obviously availability. Now, just because a lot of these games will no longer be available on the 360 store, it doesn't mean that they won't be available at all. Now, obviously, you can emulate probably a lot of these games, if not all of these games, in some way, shape, or form. But if you're wanting to get the unpirated version, if you're wanting to get a version that's, either on a physical format or on some other piece of Microsoft hardware, that's all going to play a role in how valuable the game is, right? Now, there are some games that, even if they're only available in their physical form, I don't really foresee these games shooting up in value. And a good example would be games like the Fable series, Fable and Fable 2. Now, these are two extremely common games that are available on the 360, and despite the massive amount of FOMO going on, these games haven't really become any more desirable than they were last year or 2 years ago. And you're not really seeing any change in price. Why? Because of their availability. They're games that are still going to be around, and there's no scarcity mindset towards these games. On the other hand, you do have other games where not only has the game been delisted, but you can't find it neither digitally anymore in any other format, and the amount of games or the amount of copies that were released in a very small amount. Now, over the past 2 weeks, I've discovered that there are games that have gone up by 4 or 5 times their original value, which is crazy to me. But there's one thing that I noticed that those games have in common, and it's I think the biggest factor that folks should be looking for when it comes to the 360 games they're trying to buy and add to their collection. And is the game a fun game? Does the game cater to a very specific gaming audience? And what's the quality, right? What's the quality of the game in terms of graphics, visuals, voice acting, and all of the above? Now, I have about 3 games in my collection, which I've shown in other videos, that have quadrupled and in some cases quintupled in value. Games like Fist of the North Star, Knight's Contract, and Raiden Fighters. Those are games that have gone up, and if you didn't have those in your collection before, trying to add them to your collection now is going to be a very tall task. It's going to be very difficult for you to try and add those games to your collection, just because things like this shoot up overnight. It's like people realize what is and isn't valuable, and they shoot up overnight, and a lot of times you're kind of late to the game. So I wouldn't waste a lot of your time over the week and over the summer really hunting for Xbox 360 games, because the wave is over, right? Like, it's already over. And at this point, just like how I'm doing right now, anyone who's really talking about a 360 game on YouTube, they're doing it for content. Some might be doing it for education, and others might be doing it as a warning to other game collectors and other gamers out there. My video was more so somewhat of a warning. I had already done a warning video weeks ago. I want to say 2 to 3 weeks ago, basically warning people about the Xbox 360 FOMO. It's one of my most viewed videos on this channel, 13,000 views. But that video was really more so sent out as a warning, and I gave everyone about 5 basic pieces of information that they needed to know about the Xbox 360 store closing. I won't go over them in this video, but in that video I let you kind of know what you need to know to be able to maximize and buy the right games for your collection. Above all, don't buy games that you don't like outside of these extenuating circumstances like store closings and stuff like that. If you don't like 3D beat 'em ups, don't buy a 3D beat 'em up just because you can't play it online anymore. If you don't like shoot 'em ups, don't just go buying a shoot 'em up because you think that now the shoot 'em up is going to be worth a lot of money. Buy the stuff that you want to play and play the stuff that you like. I just bought today Fantastic Four on the GameCube for $4.50. I'm so stoked, and I can't wait for that game to come, because I am a huge fan of the Fantastic Four. I also am a huge fan of the Silver Surfer. He's actually my favorite Marvel character of all time. Top three favorite Marvel characters are Silver Surfer, Gladiator, and Spider-Man. In that order: Silver Surfer, Gladiator, and Spider-Man. So you know, I'm stoked about getting that game. I also bought X-Men Legends 1 and 2. Got both of those games for under $40. You know, got the Incredible Hulk for $10. These are all games that really fit my genre style. You know, they're 3D beat 'em ups, they're 3D action adventure games, and that's what I like. Now, they're supposed to be releasing a Fantastic Four movie. A new one is coming out. It's not coming, I don't think it's coming out next year. I'm not sure when it's supposed to come out. But who knows? They could release that Fantastic Four movie, and the next thing you know, all of these Fantastic Four games shoot up crazy in crazy value. But that's not the reason why I'm getting Fantastic Four. I'm getting it because I want to play the game, and I'd rather play it on GameCube versus PlayStation 2, because the PlayStation 2, like, you know, the colors are dim and, you know, it doesn't have the best graphics. I'd rather play it on GameCube. So I say all that to say that, once again, don't get swept up in the FOMO. The Xbox 360 wave is already gone and past, so nothing new to see here. And only buy the games that you really want on the system, so you're not wasting time and stacking up a bunch of plastic and paper that you're really not going to appreciate once the hype wears down. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you in the next video. Take it easy.